You also, I mean, we touched on the bullet thing, the whole protection thing. In your pre-show notes, you said you're also wrong about men not dying for / or protecting in general their women. Yes, women do need to be, parentheses, a lot better. There's definitely a pattern of absent fathers and whorish women. These are your words, not mine. However, men shoving off their protector-provider responsibility is the reason women have had to step up in those roles, making women more masculine / I don't need a man feminist. The reason women are the way they are now is because boys are not growing up into men, but rather staying in a Peter Pan, never grow up state because the women have taken over and men don't feel the need to step up. A lot of these men out here are still sucking on
their mom's
teat.
tata.
This is also the reason so many of the young men are depressed, because they don't feel they have a purpose or they are needed. If we as a society bring back strong masculine men and not the fake "I want to control my woman" type of masculinity, there's a lot of that, women would fall in line with much less resistance. Do you want to elaborate or anything? Or?
What would you like me to elaborate on?
Well, I was just reading your pre-show notes. I don't know if you had any additions, addendums, amendments.
No, I think I meant what I said. If you would like clarification on it. I think I made it pretty clear.
Okay, well, I'll ask you a couple questions then. You said, not the fake "I want to control my woman" type of masculinity. Yep. What does that mean?
Oh, there's a lot of men who sit there and they act like they're masculine just so they can control a woman. They sit there and they tell her what she can and can't do, as if she's like a helpless.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so what about I'm dating a girl and I say, "I don't want you going out to bars and nightclubs." Is that controlling?
No, that's not controlling. That's a safety thing. But she should also know that.
Okay, so I mean, what would be a controlling thing then?
Saying that you can't, like, I don't know, go out with your family or some shit. Like, that's the kind of shit like my ex used to say.
Yeah, no,
he wouldn't let me. Yeah, he wouldn't let me go out with my family because he was a racist.
Well, now we're talking about something kind of different.
That's the controlling aspect that a lot of men I have met are like that.
How is going out with your family racist?
I think she said something.
I have no idea. Anyways, moving this on. So, I mean, here's my rebuttal. This is absolutely bulletproof, not fallacious at all. Definitely not fallacious. Absolutely bulletproof. You have a septum piercing. Case closed. So I can just disregard every single thing you say. I'm going to call it the septum piercing razor.
Okay.
She who has a septum piercing, you can just disregard all the shit she says.
You can have that opinion.
It's called the septunium fallacy.
Well, and Andrew, I think you'll like this one. There's also, Andrew, you and me, we've tangled with a couple women who, on their Instagram, some of them are OF girls, on their Instagram or their Twitter, there's photos of them with a substance on their face. And a couple girls. So I'd like to. I know. Oh my God, I can't. So there's a razor.
Ryan, a substance. What sort of substance? What sort of substance are you talking about?
It comes from the phallus.
It does. Okay, got it.
So I'm dubbing this the Atlas razor. One's opinion can be dismissed should one have a photo of them with jizz on their face. Mm-hmm. It's called the Atlas's razor.
Is that a real
You can
thing?
just dismiss anybody. You can dismiss any assertions or opinions they have if you have a photo, man or woman. This isn't a sexist thing.
Is this made up?
This
or?
is
sexist.
An answer. Brian doesn't know this, but this is the age-old answer to what is called the genetic fallacy. And the genetic fallacy is when you essentially say that the argument isn't valid due to the source of the argument itself. That would be the genetic fallacy. But this is the counter to it. This is the counter to the genetic fallacy.
It's a counter.
So if the source has jizz on its face, you can instantly dismiss it as being invalid, and it invalidates the genetic fallacy. I agree. This is the Atlas response to the genetic fallacy. I think that that's fair.
Yeah, and by the way, this isn't like a sexist thing.
Mm-hmm.
If a guy has a photo
I'm like, wait,
with spunk on his face,
just the
you can
photo
also
part?
dismiss his,
It's just the photo part that does it.
Well, that's the proof. You need the proof. You can't just assert that, somebody had that on their face at one time. There needs to be evidence.
Oh, and it's got to be on the face.
All right, All right. I don't know. Did you have something else? Or?
No, I think I made my point.
By the way, this is now, we're going to refer to this as the Coombe Clause, which
like that.
invalidates the genetic fallacy from here on out.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Anyways, but don't you think it's a little, don't you think it's a little, this whole bear thing,
I like.
a little a little bias, a little anti-male
This is what I'll tell
bias,
you. This is what I'll tell
a little
you.
anti-male bias.
I like animals more than people in
You
general.
didn't understand the part, like the point I was trying to make.
What
at
were you
all.
trying to make?
Like it keeps coming up that we keep saying bear, or most of us, at least, because of the experiences we've individually had with.
Can I ask you a question?
And it has nothing to do with the bear.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't want to interact
So
with the
let's
bear.
just change. Let's change up the scenario then. Let's change. Have you ever had a bad experience with someone who's part of a racial group?
I was going to do one better.
No, hold on. Let her answer the question.
I mean,
Like, have you ever had a bad experience? I'm not saying because they're part of that racial group, but let's say you had a bad experience with someone who happened to be part of a racial group. It could be a white person, it could be a black person.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, sure.
right. Would that then be pretext for having a negative bias towards the racial group?
No,
So why is it okay then to have a
'Cause-
negative bias towards the male group?
because it could have been a man or a woman. Like in my case, I'm not thinking of it as it just being the man that I wouldn't.
No, but you're saying we've had bad experience with men.
Because that was your argument, like.
I've had bad
No,
experience
But
with
but
women,
realistically,
too.
it could have been a man
Right,
or
but
a woman.
if you make that same argument against a racial group,
it could be
would it be
that
sexist?
racist man or a woman that could.
but would you then be racist if you said, because I had a bad experience with a person who's part of this group, I no longer feel comfortable, I no longer feel safe, I no longer trust this group?
No, I don't necessarily.
Is it racist?
I'm not, no,
It's
and
not
I could be
racist.
totally
So
like.
then, okay, fine.
I could be
Is it-
totally like not catching on to what you're saying. Like
You're
who
not
knows,
catching
maybe
on.
I could be.
Or,
No,
okay.
I'm saying I
Okay,
like
you
that
said
could be possible.
you
but,
said because of my past bad experiences with men,
right.
I don't feel safe around men. I don't trust men. I'd rather be in a
No, not
forest with a
completely.
bear.
Like that's what I'm saying. That when I include, it's not just the man thing. I'm not going for just the man. It could
That's
have been
literally
any.
it, though.
That's the part where
Would
I
you
meant,
rather
like
be
maybe I
okay? So
didn't
would you rather be
understand.
alone in the forest with a woman or a bear?
At this point, fucking neither, dude. Because I don't care about that bear. It's
I'm
about
not gonna let
like
you
just
weasel. I'm not gonna let you weasel out of this. Answer the question.
bear. Still
the bear.
bear.
Still the
yeah.
bear?
But,
Okay.
I mean,
I've been treated weirdly by women just
Sure.
as much as I have by men, just different ways. I don't know.
But
It's
I
not a
feel like-
sexist thing to me at all.
I
It's
do,
not sexist to
I do
be
feel
more
like
afraid of.
you're
men
just saying
over
bear.
bears.
Because, I mean, if you'll say bear now just because, but like, no, you're going to choose a woman, but that's not necessarily fair because I know every girl sitting at this table has had a friend in their life that was their friend who is no longer their friend because that particular girl did them so dirty or did them something terrible or started some
Yes, it
terrible
doesn't
thing in their
have-
life, but you're not going to hold that against a girl and you're going to be like, dude, I like you a lot, I want to be your friend. You will never do that. You will trust another woman, so how can you not trust another man?
Nickelodeon donated $199. Lady,
know
stop
that
trying to bring up your traumatized
animals are
past
definitely
just
better
so you
than
can say it's
humans.
too traumatic to talk about and act like a victim. We don't want to hear it. Go talk to the bear about your traumas.
Okay, thank you, Nickelodeon. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Brian.
I think you need therapy.
Okay, so somebody rightly brought up in my chat that we'll call it the genetic material fallacy.
Nice. Hold on, I'm too late on the button. Okay.